One thing I like about my hair type and texture is that I have like a meld of 4 different hair textures on my head. Some parts are kinkier, some parts are curlier, and it's sort of like a unique blend that works really well because I'm able to do a lot of different styles, more versatile styles. I'm not just stuck on one end of the spectrum or, you know, the other. Like some people with a looser curl may not be able to do twist styles and the big froey type of hairstyles because their curls are so loose. Or on the other hand, some hair textures may not have any curl at all, so they can't do like all the wash and go styles and just rock their curl definition. But me, because of my hair texture, I can kind of go both ways. I can do a wash and go, and I can do the fro type of styles and the twist out styles. So that's one thing I like about my hair texture. Another thing I like about my hair texture is, like I mentioned, I have like 4 different textures of hair on my head in different places, and that makes my head of hair unique. And I like the idea of uniqueness. That's one of the main reasons that I went natural in the first place, because at first I didn't really know there was so many different aspects of being natural and wearing my natural hair. And so when I would see so many women out and about and they had their own unique styles, they had their own unique hair texture and types, that's what made me want to go natural, so I could see what my unique hair texture was. And so that's one thing I like about my natural hair, is that it's unique, and only I have my hair that's on my head. Maybe similar textures to other people, but it's still unique to me. And the third thing I like about my hair texture is that when I do styles, because it's kinky and curly and coily, when I do styles and I let them out, I have nice big fluffy hair, and I love big fluffy hair. I just can't wait for it to get bigger and fluffier. Before I went natural, I had very long hair. My hair was to mid back, you know, bra strap, I mean, probably past my bra strap, you know, straight hair, but it was just straight. It was kind of boring. And so that was one thing I wanted, was this big hair. And I feel like it fits my face because I have a big round face, big eyes, bigger nose, full nose, full lips, and I'm like, big hair just kind of fits. So that's the third thing that I really like about my hair type. The transitioning process for me was horrible. It started out okay, but the more my hair grew, the worse it got. I transitioned for about 5 months. I got my last relaxer the Thursday before July 4th weekend of 2008. And I big chopped on December 18th of 2008, which was also a Thursday, oddly enough. Basically, I think where I went wrong in the transition was that number one, I didn't want to lose my length because I do not prefer short hair on myself. Had I known then what I knew by the time I got around to the big chop, which was you could just cut it off and put it in, you know, kinky twist or some other type of protective style until it grows out, I would have done that initially. Just cut it off and just, you know, let it grow out long enough that I could maybe get some extensions put onto it and then just cut it off and been done with it. But I wanted to, you know, grow it out so that it would have some length to it when I did cut. So I mean, when I did the big chop. The other mistake that I made was when I actually got the lash relaxer and started to transition. Prior to that time, I had not done any research on transitioning at all. I was kind of learning as I was going. And I think at first, as my hair was starting to grow, it wasn't that big of a deal. It was doing just fine, and so I kind of was just going with the flow, not really focusing too much still on trying to figure out what to do during the transition phase. I was more so looking at style tutorials and you know, caring for hair, you know, natural, all natural hair, not even looking at transitioning, of course, until it was too late, until there was a point where my hair was so matted and so tangled. It would snap, crackle, and pop. I could not do anything with my hair at all because my hair is thick anyway. Even when it was relaxed, of course, it's thick. So being that the new growth, of course, is thick and kinky, and it was confused because it takes a lot of time and a lot of growth before your hair actually gets settled into its true texture after you start relaxing. So my poor little new growth just didn't know what to do. It came out and it was like and my straight and relaxed ends were just popping off left and right. I couldn't style it. It got to the point where I couldn't even style the straight hair because it was so tangled with the new growth. So it actually got to a point where people were concerned. You know, I never had anybody give me a lot of flack about going natural when I first decided to go, because when I first decided to do it, I really didn't talk to anybody about it but my husband. I might have mentioned it to my mom, but I really talked to him about it because, you know, his opinion matters to me. You know, it's just an opinion, of course, but his opinion would have some weight as to what I decide, you know, to do with my hair. And so as I was going along, nobody really knew that that's what I was doing. So to them, it just looked like I was just not doing anything to my hair. Why aren't you getting relaxed? So you got like, you know, 2-3 months worth of new growth and you're not doing nothing with your hair. What's the problem? And so I never forget, it was Thanksgiving weekend of 2008. My mom had some friends over for karaoke, and one of my best friends and my mom like had this huddle where they were like saying, you know, one of them was who was going to talk to me, because my mom was really concerned. I mean, they were both really concerned. They, you know, that they didn't know what was going on, and my mom was just concerned that whatever I was doing, if, you know, going natural or whatever, was just tearing my hair up, and I was just looking a hot mess. And granted, I was looking bad. It was rough. I didn't know how to transition smoothly and make it still look presentable, and so by the time I was trying to figure it out, it was just really too late. It was at that point where the only solution was to cut it, and I still was trying to hold on. But the thing was neither one of them ever said anything to me about it until this past December, when I had my 2-year anniversary party at my friend's house, and my mom was there and a bunch of other people, and they told me about this story where they had this little meeting, and it was so funny because they never said anything to me about it, because I think a couple weeks later it was December 18th, and I cut all my hair off anyway. So my transition was just, it started off good, but it got bad. I mean, it was to the point where my head would literally ache. I mean, my scalp would just be aching. I would have headaches. it was the worst. And that's what led me to just come home one day and just cut it off and just be like, I'm done. So yeah, my transition was awful, but the reward was great.